Okay, we are all set.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to this meeting of the Preservation Board. Let's establish a quorum. Bob, call a roll.
Okay, Mike Colleen,
Present.
Anthony Robinson,
Here.
Tiffany Hamilton,
Here.
David Richardson,
Here.
Captain Hamaker,
Here.
Richard Callow.
Present.
Excellent. We have a quorum.
Okay. Has anybody read the minutes for the last meeting? If so,
I move to approve the minutes of December 16th, 2024.
is there a second?
Second.
Excellent. Any discussion, any changes? Nah. Okay. Bob, call a roll.
Okay, Mike Colleen,
Still here.
you say is that yes for the minutes?
Oh, yes, for the minutes. Approved, yeah.
Anthony Robinson,
Yes.
Tiffany Hamilton,
Yes.
David Richardson,
Yes.
Captain Hamaker,
Yes.
Mr. Callow.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay, Commission is looking at the agenda. Does anybody need to recuse themselves from the single item on this agenda? Does everybody appreciate the order of this agenda? Okay, then, this will be our agenda, calling the first agenda item. Bob?
I just want to touch base with a few items. It was asked early on, why it's such a small agenda. Things have been very, very slow, just, permit intake wise. The weather has really, really knocked stuff down. So that pretty much explains what's going on. As I was telling Tiffany and I think Mike earlier, we already have stuff lined up for next month. So let's just enjoy this this one quick meeting because we already got stuff lined up for the next 2 months. So just a heads up. Like to report some good news. We have hired my replacement for the old planning position. Chris Nafziger, who you will note is in, if you can see, he is in the room today watching. He's on the Zoom room watching it. But Chris, we welcome Chris to the office. He's a longtime member of the St. Louis preservation scene, but he will start on February 10th, my birthday actually. So a nice little gift for me to have somebody start. So Chris will be starting then.
Excellent. Welcome, Chris.
Welcome.
So then, and then also we are making an offer to an admin assistant to replace Bennett. So hopefully we'll have that person soon in our office and trained up and ready to go. So that's other good news.
Can't even imagine what that offer would be.
We're just like, we said, please, will you come work for this amazing office and this great board? And they're like, yeah, because this is obviously the board secretary position. So they were excited about it, but we got to still get to the process of actual hiring. So working on that. Want to give you an update on the grant. We've been working with the folks from MKSK on that template. Had some fits and starts, we'll just say, to be honest, with the grant. But we are at a spot now where we think we are having them build the template out, and we're going to engage with Benton Park to see if it works. And once we see how it works, again, we'll probably bring it back to you all to show you progress where we're at with the grant. Again, it's been kind of all over the place, and it was a bigger lift than we thought when we first started the project. But I think we finally got to a place where we're happy with progress with the consultant, a lot of input from staff to try and get this going. So that's where we are with that. Any questions about the grant? Okay. Quickly, a member of the board did ask about this project coming through. It's the proposed demolition of the former Boy Scouts headquarters for some new construction. This is the proposal. The area is just a PRD. The building itself has been heavily modified since it was built in '61 for the Otis Elevator Company building. So the building is not contributing. It's not really historic anymore. It's been heavily modified. It's going through the form-based code review process. I think actually Mr. Robinson will probably see it here in the near future, but this is going to be a staff level approval when it comes through, because it's the building has been so modified. It's not contributing. It's not in a local district. It's not a national district, just a PRD. So that's a brief update on that. Again, this is going through the form-based code review process. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay, we'll move on to the first item then. Jan, just say advanced, I'll move it for you, okay?
Okay, advance, please. Okay, those of you, I guess, were all at the last meeting. This is 1516 Mississippi, and the proposal is to replace the front dormer to allow insertion of an egress window, because that's a bedroom back there. So it's a life safety issue. This is a reconsideration because we had technical difficulties at the last meeting, and the architect for the project was here and wished to comment, and somehow the technology didn't work. So again, this is a reconsideration, and I guess we can go to the next one.
Mr. Lehman, real quick, Jason, are you there? Can you please unmute so we can, there you are.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there's Jason. All right, well, this will work this time.
Okay. So very briefly, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but this is the property. It's across from Lafayette Square Park. Next, please. It's looking northward. Park's on the left. Next. And here it is in context. So there's a variety of dormer styles on here. Next one, Bob. See, there is a variety of dormer styles. The staff recommended that the dormer be hipped because the existing dormer is hipped. And the standards very clearly state the dormers shall not be removed or altered in configuration, location, or detail. So that was where the staff came up with their recommendation, and the board voted to support that. In the interim, here is the proposal of, and again, what you're looking at are elevations, so this will not be as prominent as it appears here. The staff has to really support the standards, but it is up to the Preservation Board, of course, as you know, to offer any exceptions or variances to those standards for good reason. Now, another of our recommendations was that a horizontal mutton be installed in the windows to duplicate the appearance of double hungs as they are now. And the architect and owner have agreed to do that, but they would really like to keep the gable roof. And so they're asking for the board to grant an exception to the standards for that. Questions?
Sorry, I'm jumping around. It's my fault. And Lafayette Square did support the application.
Oh, yes, and they supported it at the first meeting too, and you were provided with a letter from them saying that they are in favor of the alterations.
Can I ask a question about that one? So there are things that they supported a variance to have the 8-foot wide to accommodate the windows, but they were cool with the gable instead of the.
Yes,
Okay,
they were cool with what was originally proposed by the applicants.
got it. Okay.
And just to clarify a few things on this too, we're not asking to make it any wider. We're essentially just raising the roof to get the extra height for the windows. And you know, we were kind of, when we had presented it to the Lafayette Square board, we were using number 20 Benton Place as kind of our model example, because there's several dormers on there that have this style gable on them. And so that's kind of what we were piggybacking off of to get this. And the homeowners are really kind of wanting to push to have that look, just to give it a little more curb appeal.
Jason, could you introduce yourself, please, your full name for the board?
Jason Lehman with Jeff Dane Associates Architects.
Thank you. Any questions for Jason?
Okay, so Jason, just to clarify, you're saying they want to do a gable and not a hip because they think it would be better looking. It's an aesthetic thing?
Correct, aesthetic thing, but then they have walked around the neighborhood a ton and have seen many dormers around the area that have both the hip and the gable style on them, and they just have gravitated more towards the gable style with the trim work. So that's kind of what we're hoping for would get approved. And like Jan said, we did go through Lafayette Square and they did approve it with that style. Knowing that we would still need to get the approval from you guys because of the variances and things that follow along with it.
And do we know, this could be a question for you, Jason, or for Jan, is that the original gable up there now that we're seeing in this picture?
Well, amazingly, the famous tornado took the whole front of this building down. So while it still is a historic building in the definition of the Lafayette Square standards, it is not original. That makes any sense.
Cyclone strikes again.
Mhm.
Okay, so you think, Jan, that there was a hip on there originally?
I can't tell you that. I think that the hip is stylistically appropriate for the building style now. But I'm not strongly against a gable change.
Okay, thank you. No more questions from me.
Further questions? Okay. Guess we need a motion. Commissioner Colleen?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that the Preservation Board override the Bob's, or the, no, I'm sorry. I've been out of practice on this for a little while.
To be a prelim, this would be a grant preliminary approval.
Okay, I say we allow them to build it as they wish. But with the window change that we called for with more, the Muntin lines.
Olivia, is that a clear motion?
I suppose just to clarify, are you asking that they approval be granted with the condition that the front dormer be hipped and the exterior applied horizontal muntins be installed?
That's a much better motion. I move
that's-
that.
Is that your
That's
motion?
Yes,
but-
that's my motion. Yes, ma'am.
I thought you were moving to not, yeah, I thought you were moving to not require the dormer be hip, that you're gonna allow the gable, but you wanted the muntins.
Yeah, I'm allowing the gable, want the muntins.
So I think your motion is that the Preservation Board grant preliminary approval to the proposed alterations as applied for, with the condition that the that there be exterior applied horizontal muntins to each window.
Need a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. Bob, call a roll, please.
Okay, Mike Colleen,
Yes.
Anthony Robinson,
Yes.
Tiffany Hamilton,
Yes.
David Richardson,
Yes.
Catherine Hamaker,
Yes.
Richard Kellett.
Yes.
The ayes have it.
Okay. Is there anything else on our agenda?
Not that I see.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Without objection, then we stand adjourned. Thank you, commissioners.
All right, again,
you.
all right, again, next month we'll be back to normal status and we already have stuff lined up. So enjoy your evening tonight. We'll see you in a month.
Don't curse us.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm trying to get off here. Okay. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, appreciate it. Do we still need to submit anything for the variance process on that or?
You can just apply for a permit.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Appreciate the help, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
That you both have a great rest of your week. and
Thanks,
I'll
Chris.
see
We'll
you-
see you.
I'll
We'll be
see
in
you
touch.
in 2
We'll-
weeks.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, man. We'll
All
talk
right.
soon. Appreciate
All right,
it.
have a great week.
You too. See ya.